What's up, everybody? This is Rob Shack. Today we're going to be doing a final review of my 007 Agent Under Fire series. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Help me get to 1,000 subs. Help me get there by the end of the year. So I kind of figured what I was going to do. I was trying to think through what I would do to make this review fun. And what I'm going to do is just kind of go through each level, honestly, and just name things I like and dislike about them and just kind of go through like that. We'll just kind of see what happens with that. I think it should be pretty fun. I'll try to be funny, all that stuff. But we're going to go through this whole game, give a big review of it. I'll give some information that I've learned about this game, and we'll get it going. So this is Trouble in Paradise Level 1. I don't know if y'all know this, but this game was originally was supposed to be a port of World Is Not Enough to the PS2. So that model of that character with the briefcase was supposed to be Lachief, which is that character from the first game, or first level of World's Not Enough, that banker who gets, I think, killed. Yeah, so that's what that is. Just a little fun fact for you. Level design in this game is honestly very, very good. I'll kind of go through that with this as I go through it. Also, the graphics are pretty good, given that we're looking at a 2001 PS2 game. This is a very, very old game. This level's a lot of hand-holding. Honestly, it's kind of like a downside. But I mean, again, if you're new to this series of Bond games, this is very helpful because a lot of the old Bond games are they do not help you at all. Obviously, at this point, I've done all the Bond moves, and there's a lot of Bond moves on the first level. They just kind of are trying to get you to look around. The level is honestly really great. The skybox is really good for this level. I'll show y'all later. The level design of these games are great. Well, yeah, we'll talk about more of that. But the level design for the first level is pretty awesome. A lot of different ways to approach a situation. You can sneak up on this guy, punch him out, or I think you can even shoot him, but then you get his key card. You don't have to do this. This is the cool thing about some of these older Bond games is there's a lot of different ways to traverse every scenario. So like with this level, they really wanted you to explore. I mean, obviously they make it really obvious. Q literally says, hey, go use the Q grappling hook on that thing. But like, you don't know to punch that dude out. If you punch that dude out, you get a key card that allows you to come over here. And, oop, there we go. I shot it by accident. It's fine. I have unlimited ammo because I have one of the cool Bond move things. So the thing I loved about this game was I've played World's Not Enough. I've played GoldenEye, and I think I've played like Tomorrow Never Dies, some of the PS1 era games that are kind of terrible. Nintendo 64's era was really good. PS1's era is not that good, but the PS2 era is like where I think the Bond games really, really shined. They were very, very, very good. There was a lot of bangers, and I think Agent Under Fire kind of starts the whole thing. So again, I think I'll probably name this video like, is Agent Under Fire a masterpiece? I don't think it really is. But because the enemies are like do all this crazy, like they're pretty ruthless. They're also kind of stupid, like that dude running behind a giant barrel that's going to explode if I shoot it. But the Agent Under Fire paves the way, I think, for the PS2 era to completely shine because Nightfire obviously came after this. Nightfire was unbelievably good. Probably the best Bond video game ever is probably Nightfire, if I had to say so. Again, I mean, look at this. Biomes This is pretty sweet. If you take a second to look around, some of these levels have some really good detail for PS1 or 2 era. Bomb moves in this game are not like stupid. I mean, they're kind of like, obviously he says fireworks. That is not a firework. That is an exploding barrel. I don't know why he says fireworks, but the level design of this game is great. The graphics are great. The Agent Under Fire is just the game that kind of gets the ball rolling with Bond games to be amazing. A lot of creative Bond moves in this game, which I think is something that is underrated. Some of the Bond games in the future, it's like it's just obvious. Like they'll like make it super obvious that you have to do certain things. But this game, it's way more. Wait, where'd my last grenade go? Also, this dude is just stuck. I think I just broke the AI because I threw a golden grenade at those people. But yeah, I just think they do a great job with this game. The first level in itself is very simple, linear, but still provides some clarity. still provides some openings, still provides some ways to kind of traverse the map in a good way. Cool set pieces like this where the lights go out. It's pretty sweet. Apparently I just naded myself, but I'm not really trying to do really well here. I'm just kind of going for it. I also have golden ammo or unlimited ammo, so I'm not really trying super hard here. Where's that dude with the grenade? There he is. Again, I'm super hurt now because I naded myself with a golden grenade, which does a lot more damage. But the first level does a really good job of setting the stage for this game. I think they do a really good job of, setting up the plot. You have Zoe Nightshade. She's not real. Spoiler alerts. I mean, hopefully you've seen my other videos, so I'm not spoiling anything. Zoe Nightshade is not the real one. That is a clone. That's kind of the whole point of this game is there's clones that are being used to replace people. So we're trying to stop it. We're trying to put it into that because that's weird. Because they're trying to clone world leaders and stuff like that, and I think that's not good. So, yeah, it's very interesting plot. It's kind of like a classic Bond plot. They do a good job of it because you grab these vials, then somebody takes them back from you in not a stupid way. Newer games don't show the plot well with that. They don't really do a good job of explaining what is happening with why the plot is the way it is. And at least in this game, they're yeah, they took the vials back from you. That's why you should care about this. What if I can just shoot this guy before it even... Oh, I can. Wow, that's pretty funny. So I just shot him. He's down. And I didn't even know I could do that. That's pretty funny. See? Creative. A lot of creative ways to do this. I could have waited and shot him after the cutscene, because I think everyone's already aware of me. I wonder if that's going to impact this cutscene. I think it does. Yeah, because they were very much aware of me. So yeah, the AI are not so smart that because if they start shooting you, they will obliterate you. Their accuracy is so freaking good, which is hilarious. But also, they are stupid. So I think they just were we made the AI a little bit too accurate with the guns at range, so let's make them stupid and stand out in the open and shoot. Of course, they don't miss, which is unfortunate, but they also are they're just smart and stupid, which I think is a perfect balance for these AI. I think because in earlier games the AI wasn't as good, and I think in later games they made them stupid because I think this is a good balance. And so the weapons are really good in this game. There's creative ways to get the rocket launcher. Basically, that's the key, is you want to get the rocket launcher if you ever can. And it's available on a lot of levels. So, they really are trying to make that important for the player. Again, there's so much freedom for the player in this game. And so I'll get to later levels where I kind of feel like that gets taken away. But the game starts very, very strong. Lots of exploding barrels. Lots of creative ways to get snipers, to do stuff like that. Getting rocket launchers, stuff like that. That stuff is really creative, and I think that they do a really good job of starting this game off on the right foot. You get a rocket launcher, you can blast people's faces off. It's pretty fantastic, and yeah, you kind of nail it with this. I think whoever is the maker of this game did a really, really good job, and I'll stop with the first level for there. I kind of just did the entire first level because I had a lot to say about the first level. I wanted to get into the gameplay loop, which I think was really, really fun on the first level. Now we'll get to the level 2, which is where I will talk about kind of another element of this game that I think they do really well, which is they spice up the gameplay a lot in the levels. So we'll talk about that later. But I do think that they did a great job of starting the game off on the right foot. You can see where you just started the last level right there. There's that helipad. That's where we just were. Now we're in we're on a turret. We are the mobile cannon on the back of this BMW 7 Series. Another very interesting... I don't think we have any more levels like this. Maybe there are other... Oh, no, there is the tank. There's the tank. We have the tank later. But for a while, this is one of the only levels where we do this, which is pretty cool, where we actually are on a rails shooting section, but it kind of shifts depending on how well you do it, which is pretty cool. You also have 3 weapons, which is sick. You have the rocket launcher, which you eventually upgrade to golden, which I did, which is fun. And then you have a shotgun, which is kind of a waste. And then you have the AK-74, but it's like called something different in this game because, copyright or whatever. So it's cool. This was like a very unique, again, very strong start where they give you multiple different ways to start. They give you the gunplay, which is good. They still give you the gunplay in level 2, but you're on a rail now, which is kind of cool. So you get to kind of see the gunplay in a different light, and then we'll get to level 3 in a second, where you actually get to. I shot those tires out, which is pretty cool. The on the rail sections are pretty great because, again, the bond tokens are based on how you do this. So like killing certain enemies at a distance allows for the thing to pop up, stuff like that. Like, I'll try to do this here if I can. If you kill both those people, the 007 token appears right there. You have a shotgun. You have like all this creativity with this, but it's still based on the gunplay of the first level, because the first level you're obviously using all these guns, but now you're doing it on rails. So they do a great job of opening up the game, showing more creative muscle here. You get to shoot down that thing, and if you shoot that down, then you actually get one of the bond tokens. Bond tokens are cool because they basically promote doing creative things in the game. So I think, again, it's the replayability is there because you replay every level when you have golds. Then you replay them to try to get the platinums, which is sick. Also, as a result of that, you have a desire to replay the game because you play it more like Bond, but also you replay the game and you unlock cool little bonuses, which I think is sick. Also, like that right there where the path changes depending on what you shoot. There's a Bond token there, but again, I already got it. You can go back and look at that. Very creative in how they engage each situation. Obviously, there's the right way to do certain things, like the fact that they all pull up to a gas station. You should shoot the gas pumps and cause a massive explosion. Like, if you don't do that, that's kind of silly. But like, you don't have to. You technically do not have to do that. So like, and it does slow the frame rate down massively, but it's great. So again, they're showing you the creativity of the developers of this game. They made a very unique start to this game. First level, very hand-holdy, very Bond move focused, showing you all the different ways you can do stuff. Level 2 uses the creativity to unlock all the Bond tokens, because you unlock the Bond tokens by doing certain things at certain points. And I like the idea of having the Bond tokens in there because it allows you to replay the game. I think that stuff is really fun, a really, really creative way to do it. And they didn't really do that before this game. This is kind of the first game to do that. Focusing on a replayability aspect is amazing, and I'm glad that they focused on that. Then obviously at this point, the Zoe Nightshade clone dies. We don't know she's a clone, but she's dead. Then we drive off to try to chase down the lady who took the vials, whatever her name is, Carla the Jackal, I think is her name. So now, again, strong start in this game, because next level, you now are in your BMW, although right now I have an Aston Martin because I got a gold. Very, very creative that they did it this way. You start out driving you start out with the guns, then you switch over to driving on rails with a vehicle to show that they care about vehicle gameplay, but you're still in the gun, you still are shooting, and then now they give you complete freedom to drive around a city in a car. And again, it's awesome. They do it well, because then also if you get the golds, then you unlock literally the Lotus Esprit from the 80s, which like doesn't really make sense because I don't think that's ever been that's been a Bond car before. But yeah, then they give you a mini open world. Like, what a strong start to this game. Weapons are scattered all over the place. Cars are all over the place. Bond moves are linked to certain things. Bond tokens are linked to certain things. You can drive around the entire map. It's a pretty big map for just one level. This is literally one level of the game, and you literally have a miniature open world where you can drive around in the back over here, get Bond tokens on these little... It allows creativity because you can drive over here, you kind of cut it right here, and it's somewhere back. I think I just drove right past it. It's right back here. But like, this is so cool. They literally give you like a miniature open world for round 3. And you get to drive around in a Bond car. And they give you complete freedom as the player to just drive around, handbrake turns, you name it, it's all there. You can destroy a civilian car and they give you a fail icon, or you can kind of fudge it and just run into people and then they don't die you don't fail for some reason. You can slow down the frame rate to just terrible slow speeds for a second as you destroy gas stations. There's trolleys. Level 3 is strong, one of the strongest. I mean, again, you start out Trouble in Paradise, beautiful skybox, Very impressive for 2001. You get all the Bond moves told to you pretty much, but it's worth it because you need to know that that's what in the earlier games, you didn't really have Bond moves. That wasn't really a thing, so it was smart for them to kind of push that and show people, like, hey, there are Bond moves in these games. Think like Bond would. Go for explosions. Go for little tricks. If you do that, you're going to get a Bond move and you get more points when you get the final level. Having points be linked to the final score is awesome because then you have to basically be more efficient with your shots, be more efficient with your accuracy, be more efficient with time. All that stuff makes your Bond score better. Again, you're just thinking like Bond, and they promote you thinking like Bond, and it pays off because you get golden weapons, new cars. You go from having the BMW Z8 to having a Lotus Esprit HC from 87. Like, how sick. You get to literally drive it. Like, nobody would know this car is here. If you get silvers on all the medals, you would never know about this Lotus Esprit. That's pretty crazy. Like, and this was before YouTube. So, like, you wouldn't have known that you could have the Lotus Esprit in this game. It's so crazy. And so you start with level 1. You have a great opening level, Trouble in Paradise, great music. Music's underrated in this game, by the way. Music is very underrated in this game. Like, there's so many good tracks, and they really milk the main theme, but it's, like, good. It's not overdone. It's not annoying. It's not obnoxious. They really nail it in this game with the music, with the sound design. The weapons sound menacing. They have punches. The guns sound good. The controls are a little jumpy. I will say that. Especially when you're shooting. The car gameplay is almost perfect. Like, I don't think they changed the car gameplay much at all between this and Nightfire, and between this and, like, even From Russia with Love, Everything or Nothing. All the cars have always controlled very, very well in these games. So I'm pretty proud of them for how they did that. Whoa, that dude just drove down there. But the car design is fantastic in this game. Very, very good. Totally failed the mission because we missed that guy, but it's fine. We'll move on to mission 4 now because I think y'all got the point. Open world for round level 3. You go from having a normal gunplay level to gunplay on the move on a mounted machine gun in the BMW 7 series. A lot of good cars in this game too. BMW 7 series, BMW Z8, Lotus Esprit HC, like what? And then again, strong level again. Don't mind that they have the wrong location for Romania on the map. Hungary. Sorry, Hungary's not in the right spot on that map. That's pretty funny. The geography was missing. But then you go to a stealth mission, level 4. So you have, this is a fantastic start. Again, a little bit of a downside with this level is that the enemies, like, die when you shoot them with a stun gun. It shouldn't happen, but it does. It's fine. I'm not, like, super bummed about that. Because, again, they fixed that in Nightfire with their own stun level. But look at this start. You have Trouble in Paradise. You have great level design there. Lots of ways to get bomb moves. Lots of ways to navigate levels. You have a on the rails section right after that, which is fantastic as well. Very strong. Uh-oh. Well, I failed it. Let me restart. I have more to say about this level because I like this level. So yeah, you have level 2, rails section, still have gunplay from the first level. Makes it a little bit more difficult, but it's fine. Then you go level 3, probably one of the best levels in the game, which is an open world level using a BMW Z8. Then you eventually go to the Lotus Esprit. But then we have level 4, which is a back to it. Just shooting again. So it's been 2 levels since you've just shot a gun normally in the game. And they reward you with a dart gun level, a stealth level. There's Bond moves, again, we'll get to those. Then there's the tokens everywhere. They want you to explore the level. It's fantastic. Weird thing about this level is that the tokens, or that the enemies just die if you dart them. That doesn't really make any sense. In Nightfire, they fixed this. But again, this is where I come back to my main point. I'll continuously reference this. This game sets up Nightfire and all the other games in the Bond series super well. Like, they give you a stealth section, but it doesn't have perfect stealth mechanics. But then they fix that for Nightfire. Like, again, they just do everything. They fix a lot of things later, but they set it up so well. Look at this. Bond moves jumping over lasers. That's not in the manual, like, they don't have to tell you that, it's sick. This one, I think this one's over here. Yeah, and see, like, then you have like your little Q specs where you can see this little secret room right here. But I've played this forever, so I know about it. But like, that stuff is sick, absolutely incredible. Bond moves galore. There's armor there in case you haven't done well. Stealth missions, level 4, phenomenal. All right, so first 4 levels, absolutely unbelievably good. The levels kind of start to take a hit for a little bit here, so we'll get into this. We're on Cold Reception. This is one of my least favorite levels of the game. So it starts strong. You got your first 4 levels, absolutely amazing. Then you have Cold Reception. Cold Reception is a tough level because there's a timer. Timers are not good if you put a lot of investment into making the world pretty, which they did. Timers are not great. Also, these stupid, like, the fact that you have to, so if you're trying to not take a lot of damage, this is very frustrating. One of the enemies always runs towards that thing and pushes the button. If he pushes that button, it gets a lot harder. If the alarm goes off on this level, it gets so much harder. It's a little bit annoying, and that's why I don't like this level, because again, they kind of force you down this road. And then also, yeah, obviously you're taking a ton of damage. I'm not carrying right now because I have golden ammo, and I have unlimited ammo and all that stuff. But again, still, the bomb moves are still there. The piano is here, where you can get the piano version of the main theme. That stuff's really cool. You have to hit this little button. So this part of the level is also kind of weird. Again, there's just this is where you start to kind of showcase some of the problems with the AI in this game. Sometimes they just notice you, and it's weird. I don't know why. This part right here, like, if I get it to go well, I'll be shocked. But like, it took me a while to do this part well, or at least well by my standards. But like, the standards that I have for it were not impossible. You know, it's just like, so when you shoot a guy in front of another guy, oh, he actually didn't notice. That was weird. So again, AI is a little bit unpredictable when you're trying to do these little stealth sections. Because what usually happens there is that guy goes, he's hit, and starts looking around for you. And sometimes they just can find you instantly. And they look right at you. There's no reason for them to have looked into that little grate and seen me. Sometimes they see me right away. It's really weird. I don't know what their plan is there. I like that they tempt you with this, but if you open that, then the alarm goes off, and then it's a problem. But like, again, the bond moves kind of show you what the ideal path is. But again, it's not, you can kind of do whatever you want in these games, which is why I think they do a great job of instilling creativity for the player. But, where did that, isn't there one more guy? Hold on, let me make sure. See, again, this is where I kind of have some issues with this. Oh yeah, see, there he is. And like, I'm kind of shocked he didn't just see me there. A lot of times he sees you right away if you pop out. That's happened to me a million times. But, the bomb moves do kind of direct you where they want you to go. It's kind of creative that they do that. I do like that this kind of spins back around to the front here, so you can come go get this armor. But again, like, this is a beautiful level. I want to take more time to observe this level. I mean, we're in freaking the Swiss Alps. Like, look at, I mean, it's low poly, but like, it's not bad. Not a bad look for the level, but you kind of don't have time because you have to like go and finish the level pretty quickly. So that's kind of one of those things where it's like, the bomb moves, well, the timer is my problem. The bomb moves are easy. The bomb moves are good on this level still. This level's not bad. The bad level's coming. This is not a bad level. This is just the first level that doesn't feel like a massive improvement or just like a massive flaunt of creativity muscle of the developers. Because it just feels like you're just kind of like going through. You kind of have to be quick, which like the whole game up to this point has not been being quick. Even though that's what you're supposed to do for time, like, they make the levels honestly so pretty that you want to look around and explore, but then like you kind of can't do that in a way. It's really odd. Port alarms disabled, so that's good. But and I don't know what taking the pictures do of this level. But again, this isn't a bad level. It's just like, to come back to like the first time we're coming back to like really using gunplay again, because the Dart level's kind of not really a main level in the game. like it's a gimmicky level because the dart gun I don't think comes back after that level. I don't think we use the dart gun ever again. So like you get back to being on the ground again, but you're using a dart gun. But like this level is the first level with the like regular gunplay since the first level, and it just falls a little flat, honestly. And it's mainly because of the timer, and it's mainly because of the AI having clairvoyance sometimes. And I'll show you where it happens a lot, which is right up here. When you get to this point of the level, this part of the level is really where it starts to be a problem. The level's pretty much fine up until this point because, you know, you got your laser wires on the blocks and you go through the ventilation system, all that great stuff. That's classic Bond games. You know, you always want to have a little section where you do that. This right here is the part that's kind of a disaster sometimes. While you're crawling through these things, again, it'll probably work fine because I'm trying to prove a point and it'll work fine, which will annoy me. They just see you sometimes in this part. Fortunately, the bomb move doesn't matter if they see you or not, but like you should be able to just move through this. They should not be able to see you if you like are in here. But a lot of times they'll just see you in the ventilation system, and you can tell because they'll just go, there he is, and they just like are right. When you come out of here, which is explosion-y, they're right here ready for you. So like, fortunately, of course, this time they didn't notice me, so it's gonna be like completely fine. Everything is going exactly the way I want to. But like this level right here is such a pain. And again, now I have unlimited ammo, so I don't feel like as bad about doing this, but like, I mean, like I can just kind of shoot at this guy forever until he dies because I don't actually care. But like these enemies, once they see you, it becomes such a pain. And obviously you're supposed to kind of get seen because you're supposed to come through here. But like it's interesting because you can stealth your way through and actually get to this part without losing the blast door closing. But again, this part of the level kind of sucks and it seems just random what triggers them seeing you. So again, it's not that it's like the worst level ever. It's just kind of a decrease from the levels of the first 4 levels are just straight bangers. Everything is great about the first 4 levels in this game. And then this level just starts to kind of feel weird. I mean, again, fortunately the timer does go away after a while, but like watch this. So like if I had landed here, you think, okay, I can just sneak my way over to this. Great, watch what happens when you do this. Well, if it works, it might not even work. Look at this. How did they not think that this was possible? Like, of course I'm going to try to do that from the secret place. How come I can't just grapple? It'd be cool if I literally didn't kill any of the enemies in this area and just flew over their heads and then got in here. What is this? This led to my death so many times. Well, not many, only once. But I was like, I had perfected this whole part one time. And I tried to grapple that, and then somebody saw me because I was just floating in the air like a moron. So like, little stuff like that. Like the game seemed like it had so much polish up until this point, and then you start to have weird little glitches like that. It's not terrible, but it's just, you just start to notice a little bit of a decrease here. A little bit of a decrease between missions 1 through 4 and 5. So, cold perception. If I had to give, the first 4 levels are probably A's. That level's probably a B. Then we get to, this is actually a pretty good level. So this is a slight return to the betterment of the first levels. There's still a little bit of weird gimmicks here where like the level starts with you kind of being stealthy, but then a bus crashes into the UK embassy right there. It's kind of a weird gimmick though. I do love this right here. This is beautiful. I kind of wish that you had a little bit more stealth in this level because of how beautiful the level is. There's like shops that are closed and one of them has like a shotgun in it. But yeah, so the bus will come through, crash. Then these people just spawn. The spawns were a little obvious, kind of a problem to me. But this is where it gets a little bit weird. Some of these people just know you're here. There's no way they would know I'm here. But like, they're gonna come up to me and like, how does he know I'm here? How do they know I'm here? Like, the idea of it being a stealth level that kind of gets messed up is like, it seems like that's what they were going for. But like, there's no way they would have seen me. Like they should see me like now. Like now it makes sense. Because I just shot like people next to people that were not shooting at that embassy. But like, you would think that that would not happen. So like, again, kind of weird. not bad. I think this level is still way better than Cold Reception. You know, you have the fact that there are shops is pretty cool. The fact that you can break the glass and jump into these shops is pretty cool. I think one of the bond tokens is actually in one of them. You can't pick up this dude's sniper though, unfortunately. Kind of wish you could, but later, you know, they tease you with the sniper because they will give it to you eventually. All these people are just shooting this embassy, which is kind of weird because like they don't do any actual damage to it. So like, it's kind of cool, I guess. So I'll just go ahead and do this. Eventually, I think they all come running to you. Oh, no, they don't. Interesting. So let me see if I shoot this guy. Will they? Eventually, they come running at me. I see, there it is. See, what is he shooting at? Like, see, there's just a little bit of some stuff here. Again, it's not a bad level. I think this level is probably, if I gave Cold Perception a B, this level would probably be a B+, because the vibe of this level is completely awesome. The fact that there's a token in here, there's a shotgun. Where's the shotgun? I think it's in armor right there. I forgot about that. Yeah, shotgun right here. That is some creative storytelling right there. I don't know why there'd be a shotgun just staring at you from a window like that, but Night the Jackal is pretty great. You get to fight, what's her name? Carla the Jackal or whatever her name is. You get to take her down. You get to push that little button and shred her into the little like paper thing, she falls into that little pit and gets like shredded by a fan. It's like pretty gruesome, but you get to see the sniper rifle try to shoot you. Hopefully he doesn't. And then you just pop him and then he's done. But yeah, so like again, it's cool. It's a cool level because you do get to climb up on these little buildings. This feels like a very Bondy move level. The only downside of this level is that there is a few weird gimmicks, and I'll show them later. It's the hostages. There are hostages that you have to rescue, and it just feels like a little bit tacked on. It felt like they were running out of time. Like, I mean, look at this skybox. It's just nice. You just don't have time to notice it because it's at the beginning of the level gets so crazy. The level starts strong, then gets a little bit weird with the bus. Then it gets really strong with this part where you're going through all these embassies and stuff like that, going through all these towers. This part is phenomenal. The Q part is hilarious, getting the Q card. This stuff is all amazing, but then it drops off again, which is why I give it a B+ with the hostages. The hostages are not a very fun part of the level because, again, it just feels like they're trying to put stress on the player, but the stress doesn't really need to be there to me. Like, the level's called Night the Jackal. Like, you're going to have stress at the end of the level fighting the Jackal. There's no reason to put... because the Jackal lady, she's got a freaking grenade launcher on her gun. She's sick. It's awesome. There's no real reason to have this part be like stressful. They probably just did that so that the player would shoot that hostage right there running out. Like, it just seems like a little bit unnecessary. It's not like terrible, but like, yeah, I don't think there's even much of a threat to these people. I think if you just stand there long enough, they will get shot. But like, again, not really much of a thing. So like, again, I'm not like what was even just happening there? Was that guy getting punched in the face? Like, how come he didn't fall over? Like, I don't even know what happened there. So like, again, it's not terrible, but just that was such a weird, unnecessary objective, you know. And then rescuing Dumescu doesn't really make sense anyway because she's just sitting in a room. Like, it's cool that you come back into here. I will give them this. It's cool that you're back in this like type of building where then they blow this hole in the wall. That's kind of awesome. Again, really sick stuff. Very cool to be back in this building. This stuff is awesome. But again, yeah. So it's just, this level feels like they didn't have to add the hostages. I kind of don't know why they did, given that they have all, like, the fact that you're going to go back through all these buildings is like, why did we need the hostages? I don't really understand the point of why they did that. And I think they were just kind of trying to draw out the time, honestly. That's kind of the vibe that I get from it. It's cool to see the Ingalls back, because the Ingalls Type 20 was in World's Not Enough. Again, that's proof, more and more proof that this was supposed to be World Is Not Enough, and they just kind of took all the weapons and kept them the same. And there you go. So there she is. I mean, again, what she was in a secret passage. Why? It should have just been called Meet Up With Her. And it's cool that you get to snipe the gunner out of the gunship. So again, level's probably a B+ because there's just a little bit of good stuff, a little bit of weird stuff with that level. And then again, this level is sick. Another open world. We're kind of getting back into the better story development here. from a Bond game is to have shooting. Don't know what just happened there. The video looked kind of messed up again, but it's fine. Didn't stop the time, so I'm not worried. But now we're back to another open world. Again, this one's a little bit more linear than the Z8 level. This is the level where we would be driving an Aston Martin DB6, but right now we're driving the Lotus Esprit because again we got golds. So since we got the golds, we're rocking the Esprit. This level is a little bit less open, a little bit more linear, which is fine. You still can totally explore. It's not as bad. It's not bad. It's just different. I wouldn't call this a bad level. I do like that they. Okay. What was that? Okay, well I didn't expect to find a glitch like that. That was pretty funny. But LOL. So yeah, I do think that they made a different level here. I don't think it's bad. I think it's still cool. It's good to kind of come back to being in a car again, because for a while we hadn't been back in the cars. Last time we did that was level 3, so now we're on level 7. And yeah, so they did a good job of kind of bringing it back. It wasn't too long where we didn't have a car. And then we obviously, the piece de resistance of this level is that we are driving a tank at the end, and it's back on the rails. So it's kind of cool that they went from being on the rails for level 2 to being free roam level 3 to level 7 being the reverse, where you start in the car and then go back to being on rails afterwards. Bond moves are cool, where you get to lay down oil slicks on cars and stuff like that. Again, creative Bond moves for the fact that they're picking this level, so you can just Q slicks, and then they spin around, and then you get a Bond move. So it's like cool stuff like that. Again, if you're trying to take no damage. This is where I'm going to talk about this, because this happened to me in this game. If you're playing through this game on Agent, or on if you start this game up, it puts you on like lower than Agent difficulty. I didn't know that, and you literally cannot get a gold on this level on the operative difficulty. I didn't know that until like coming back and playing through this game. I don't know why they would do that. I mean, I think on one end you can say, okay, that's pretty cool, because of the fact that they're basically trying to say, hey, you're good enough now. You don't need to be playing on an operative anymore. You can play on Agent now. But what a weird way to do it. I literally got a perfect score on this level, and I tied the gold score, and it didn't give me the gold. And I was like, what? And I was like, oh, the difficulty. And that's literally what they want you to do. They want you to up the difficulty to Agent at literally this exact moment, because you cannot get a gold on this level on the operative difficulty. I find that very strange. I don't know if I don't like it or not. I just think it's weird, and I think that there could have been a better way to do it, but I also don't know how they could have done it. But it's strange to see that they literally make it impossible to get a gold. I think that's so interesting. I think I don't like it, but I don't know what I would do to shift it. So like, because they did that, I'm not mad at them. I just think it's strange to think about literally punishing the player. And I didn't even know. Like, they don't even give you the option. I mean, they do, but I didn't even think there would be a reason to shift the difficulty. I figured they would just put it at the medium one. But then it was like, oh, they don't. Like, how weird is that? So again, I think that stuff is super strange that they actually put like a difficulty, they force the difficulty to increase if you want gold. Like, obviously you don't have to do that, but like, you're gonna want all the golds because you get like multiplayer stuff if you get platinums. So like, you're gonna want it, you know? So it's just strange to me, honestly. That's like all I can really think about with that. So I'm not taking this super seriously right now, because again, I'm just trying to but yeah, so I want to just get to the tank part to show the tank part, because the tank part's sick. But yeah, I think it's weird that there's a difficulty boost and that they force it by literally getting you a perfect. Like, I spent like hours trying to get a perfect score because I thought that's what I needed to do to get a gold, and then I was like, oh, I literally can't get a gold on this. I think that's really weird. I mean, again, I don't fault them on it, but I think there's they could have saved me a day. Honestly, they could have just saved me a day, and they didn't. So the tank part is now on the rails again. We're back to level 2, but this time we have way more firepower, and we don't have really the same guns that we had before. We're literally driving a tank with cannon. The cannon helps you with the weapon efficiency. So like, if you're doing this pick the cannon. And why wouldn't you? It's a freaking cannon. It like one-shots crap. It's very good. The chain gun is still good, and it's good for the helicopters, but the tank cannon is very satisfying. Extremely satisfying. Just line up the shot and blow things away. It's very, very fun. You can pivot. It's pretty easy. Obviously, you would use the chain gun for these little like single enemies. It'd be a waste of time to like break out the massive gun. Cool bond moves. It's just they really did a good job with their driving sections. Like I don't know who was in charge of these, but they freaking knocked it out of the park with the like bond moves and the way that they did all of this. Like it's so good. So they really nailed it with the on rails and with the driving sections in Agent Under Fire, and it really paves the way for later games. All right, now we're gonna move on to probably my least favorite level in the entire game. This is the worst level in the game. Kind of sucks that it comes off of one of the best levels in the game, which is, you know, Streets of Bucharest. Fire and water. What were they doing with this one? This level is so crazy. There's so much going on it. And I mean, it starts stealthy. It totally is not like you cannot do this level stealth, even though like they keep teasing you with stealth moments. Like you think I might be able to do this. I mean, at this point I'm gonna do it because I have unlimited ammo, but like going up to these dudes, they freaking notice you. Like there's people way up there. Everybody notices you. There's a helicopter up there. I mean, again, it's the fact that it starts stealthy and you think, oh cool, like I can like sneak up here and like pop this guy, and it's like, oh no, it literally like absolutely not. They will notice you. It is so hard to do this level of stealth. I think it's like pretty much impossible. Like they make it so you pretty much can't do it. And I think that's like makes the level not, the fact that they tease you with it is what bothers me. The fact that you can like pop this guy and like, again, like, if you're trying to get a perfect score, just panic firing everybody isn't going to do it. But, like, the amount of times that I would get seen by these two dudes, this dude in particular behind this box will just see me. And I don't know why. I don't know what happened. Like, and then sometimes this guy's already looking at me. Like, yeah, like, right here. What is happening? How did they already see me? Like, how does Nigel already know I'm there? Like, I literally popped 3 people without them noticing me, and he already sees me, and he gets shots on you. He's invincible. So you can't do anything to stop him. It's silly. And then there's this whole weird part right here with the remotes on all these boxes. I mean, again, I think the goal was they want you to, as the player, go all the way over to, like, jump the box, then lift up, then jump, then lift up, to jump over to there to get, like, to bypass some stuff. But again, it's like, it doesn't really, all of that work, it doesn't really get it. And there's also a sniper watching you, which doesn't really help over there. This part, this is supposed to like, this Q laser is supposed to like kill everybody, and it totally doesn't. This gunner starts shooting at you, you can't do anything about that, so you have to literally just wait. It's kind of weird. The enemies have like very freaky good accuracy at this part too, with the Calypso, which is one of the most inaccurate guns ever, but they are super accurate with it for some reason randomly. I don't know why. It's very weird. But yeah, like there's one of the bomb moves are, again, cool, creative, hidden. One literally behind this little exploding barrel. It's kind of cool. The FSU is in this level. The FSU is pretty awesome. I mean, the level itself is interesting. I don't hate the level design, but I think I just don't understand why they thought, let's put an invincible enemy that tempts you and shoots at you all the time, but also isn't they, like, he's gonna spawn when I come down here. And like, it's so easy to like, and again, right now they're stealthing. Like you could stealth right now, potentially, but it is like almost impossible to keep that going because like, see, and sometimes he runs away, sometimes he doesn't. He usually runs away if you walk up to the gate, but sometimes it takes you opening it for him to walk away, or he just despawns like that. I don't really know. It's like the block running through is meant to create urgency, but again, it's like I don't know what they were trying to go for here. Then you have the option of going, like, this is the part where I don't like this. There's the freaking helicopter There's a sniper in this middle building right here. But they want you to use the cranes over there. So am I supposed to use the cranes, then come get the sniper rifle to kill the thing? There's also a mounted machine gun up on there. I have no idea what they wanted to do here. This is like such chaos in this part of the level. Like, I think they ideally want you to come through here because of the fact that they have a bond token back here. And there's multiple bond tokens actually back here. They want you to come back here. This seems to be the direction they want the player to go. But they also put a sniper rifle that you can snipe the helicopter pilot out of right in the middle of that floorboard, like that whole area. So I'm like, am I supposed to do this? It seems like y'all want me to do this crap and like laser or key remote myself up like this. Like, that's what they want you to do. But then also the enemies like can see you doing that. So like, it's not like super great. You can also totally fall off these boxes. They're not really stable for the player. See, they've already noticed me, like, and they noticed me from before, but like, okay, so then now the enemies all go crazy. There's also like, there's the firework thing from level 1 over there that I could also shoot and blow up part of the little sniper tower that dude's standing on. I can also shoot this. Like, I'm gonna just do this because I want to do it. But where? Oh yeah, I'm getting shot by the missiles. That's right, because there's a freaking helicopter above me. So like, again, it's just like kind of all over the place. And there's 2 dudes with deagles up there, which is fine, I guess. He pushes me back over here. Then more people spawn. Again, it's just like a cluster. And then I don't even like this room either. This room is kind of a disaster too, because for the longest time I had no idea that I was supposed to use the Q-jet to fly up to the roof, and you jet up and you run off the little thing, and it's just chaos. Like, there's not a lot of direction here, and you can also fall into these little pits and die when you're trying to jump across that little pit. There's just like, it's high risk, low reward. Like, what this level is like a lot of good ideas. They just kind of like didn't really finish well. It feels like they didn't like QC this level. They didn't check it out. There's also like enemies that spawn that are armored around here. Enemies just spawn right behind you and like come around. There's like grenades. It's just a mess. But fear not, this level, although not great, then gives way to one of the best levels in the entire game. This is Forbidden Depths. Forbidden Depths is my favorite level, mainly because of the music, and also it's a really good on-rail section with a proper sense of urgency. Some of these levels have urgency, and you're like, I don't get it. It doesn't feel like there needs to be urgency here. This level is how urgency is done well. You're chasing Locke, whatever his name is, and you're back in the AK. The music's amazing. You're in this little tram car thing. It sounds great. You're flying through this thing. There's these turrets that are up on the roof that shoot you, but they have little health, but they do a lot of damage. It's like really cool. You can shoot them before they even spawn. You go really fast. Bloke has a laser pistol. He's like dropping landmines and crap. There's like sharks. Look at this, a skybox. It's very good. Forbidden Depths is easily one of the best levels in the game. I don't know what I would call the best level in the game, but this is one of them, if I had to say so. You get that rocket launcher back again. You get the shotgun back again. It's sick. There's a lot of good stuff to do in this level. And like shooting out these people give you bond moves. They really... It's like they designed this level first. You can see the love in this level, and they give you lots of good ammo. Doors are opening and closing all around you. People spawn in behind you. There's little stopping points like this where Bloke goes running, but then you have to like shoot all of his little henchmen and TVs and crap. It's so good. Like, yeah, you end up in this little area and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm being shot at by all these people, although they're missing me a ton right now. But like, it's just phenomenal. It really is. And you can get if you shoot out all the boxes there, you actually get the rocket launcher. But you get the rocket launcher eventually, but you can sneakily get it early. It's so good. This level's phenomenal in every way. You have the scoped AK, what is it called in this game? The KA-57. So they really just mix the 2 letters, really. It's pretty great. But yeah, look at this, like, skybox. You have subs going by you. It's just phenomenal. Like, it's actually distracting because you're like, oh, there's this person behind me. Here, I'll shoot this guy out. I mean, again, I'm not really paying attention because I've already beaten all the game. If you need convincing that I've played the game, look at the videos, all in the playlist. There's a whole bunch. I beat the whole game and did it all on platinum. So Yeah, it's just phenomenal. They did a really, really good job here. I think this dude's is scripted to drive into a wall. That's why they keep him invincible. Yep, he just crashes. It's awesome. And then you have Bloke there, got his pistol that has a laser on it, or it is a laser gun, and then he, fades away. It's pretty fun. Doors are opening. It's very exciting. Then you fight in the sub. The lava opens up, and then you kill Bloke, but it's actually his clone. Spoiler alert. So then that's one of the best levels in the game, easily. So much fun. Great level. Everything is fun about that level in every way. Then we go to Poseidon. Okay, Poseidon is a weird level to me. Poseidon, I would probably give a B again. I don't think Poseidon's a very great level. I think Fire Martyr gets a C. Forbidden Death easily gets an A. And because this level starts good, and it feels like it's going to be a smooth level, but there's some weird gimmicks. Again, I'm not going to get bond tokens this time. Enemies spawn in places that they feel like they shouldn't be, and there's a few hit detection issues on this level. Again, you can kind of tell when some of the levels are not polished. This one is one of them, because some of the enemies, so in a few seconds, we'll get over to, I'll show, because I had a lot of issues with this when I did this before. So it's like, I was always throwing a grenade into this room. Once the door opens, you just toss a nade and it should kill the guy, but sometimes he just runs right past it and he doesn't care. And sometimes he doesn't die from it. See, like that. How did he not just die? I just saw him running. He should have died from that. So, few stuff like that on this level. Again, I give this level a B, not because of the aesthetic of it. It's a very pretty level. I like this level a lot. But certain enemies just seem like they don't die for some reason. That time it worked. Sometimes that guy doesn't die. Sometimes, what? How are you alive? How are you alive? Seriously. You should be dead. I just threw a nade at you. Look at this. Okay, you died that time. But the first time he literally, that nade should have killed him. So again, perfect point of what I'm trying to say here. There's a few moments like this on this level. This level is still a B because it is still pretty cool. There's a part where you can trigger automated guns to shoot all the people that are around you. This part is another weird collision part. These armed guards spawn, and I don't really get it. But sometimes that dude lived in a weird way. I don't really know how he lived. I'm just gonna use this revolver because why not? Sometimes they just seem like they should die. That's just kind of the point that I think of with that. It just feels like there was a few weird hit detection moments in this one. And then this level has a lot of points too where you're supposed to be stealthy, but people just notice you. There's a Harrier, and you trigger the Harrier's engines, but it doesn't do anything. There's no enemies there. It feels like that's supposed to have it feels like they were working on something for this level, and then they just didn't finish it. So that kind of stuff is weird. Again, I'm not this still is a pretty level, and it's cool that you're underground, underwater. I mean, it's pretty sick, but I just feel like they missed the mark just a little bit. Because see, again, this room is weird. In theory, this level is really great, or this part's really cool. But enemies sometimes just see you. This time I would expect them to see me because I kind of screwed that up. But also, they come spawning in from behind you, which is kind of weird. It's how'd they spawn in behind me? When I do this, I do this. I think I do the third one. Then all the enemies spawn behind me. And I'm that's kind of cool, I guess. But then I'm I obliterated everybody in my path. So where did they come from? I don't know. But again, it's not the end of the world. It just kind of feels weird when some of the spawns are a little off to me. Oh, and this dude's alive. Didn't expect that. But this gun is sick. The UGW is the Mayor Bullpup, or the AUG. It's an AUG. It even has the CZ scope, which is pretty cool. So they do a good job with this. So it's not, again, B. I think it's a solid B level because there's some weird gimmicks. It feels a little RNG sometimes, but yeah. Let me kind of do this because yeah, this is what you want to do. You want to trigger the guns to go off. How do I do this? I think I just come up here and push this button, and it should kill them. Well, apparently not, because one of them is just going to come running by. But I think everyone else should be dead. Right? Like, is that dude... Did that dude live? Let me see. He shouldn't have. But, okay, but I will give this level some grace because the verification code thing, this is awesome. I'll actually... Well, I guess it doesn't matter because I'm going to quit the level anyway. But, like... Sometimes that kills the people behind the little walls, too. So I'm not really sure what happened there. But, can I just trigger this without getting in front of him? Okay, yeah, that's what I can do. So, again, it's like... few little gimmicks. Sometimes the lasers kill the people behind the walls. Sometimes it doesn't. I don't know why. I don't know what happens. It seems like they didn't plan this level fully. Again, the autocannons is the coolest thing because it does kill people that are like in front of you, which is awesome. But yeah, it's weird. The autocannons is a weird part. In theory, it's supposed to just obliterate everybody, I think. Because it's literally shot the scientist guys before. I've done it, but I don't know what makes it do that. Then the Harrier section is not very fun at all. Then it gets fun at the end. So, again, solid B level. Not great, not terrible. And now we're on to Mediterranean Crisis. This one is, this is an okay level. I do think it's cool that Poseidon does give you two options. If you don't get the verification code, you spawn out. You spawn in prison. If you do, you spawn out here with Zoe, and no one's dead or no one's in trouble. Kind of cool. So I think that's awesome. They do a good job of. I mean, I think that stuff is really creative to have variety in the level like that. They give you the bond moves, bond tokens to go through the walls or go through the where is he? There he is. To go through the little rafters here. I think that stuff's really cool. They do a great job of basically giving you freedom, and this is very reminiscent of GoldenEye, where you start in the prison with Natalia. So that's kind of awesome. But yeah, they like go, hey, climb into here and do this thing, even when you're not from prison. It's almost like they expect you not to find the little verification code, I find that odd, given that you would think that Bond would find that for sure. So like, but then you can just literally crawl through here and just snipe everybody, and they want you to do it because they put a Bond token in here. I like the Bond tokens again because they kind of show you how you should play it, but again, you don't have to do it this way. But it's cool because they give you the freedom to be like, oh, you don't have to do this, but if you want the platinum, you're going to have to do it. So let's throw some nades and blow everybody up. And there we go. I just saw the armored guy go flying. Okay, so this is the level where we rescued Zoe, which is really cool. The Harrier part's cool. The Bond moves in this one are good, but the tokens are weird. The tokens don't match online, so that was, again, the reason why I do this. Is you want to make sure that you are doing it, like, I mean, again, this game was before YouTube, so like stuff being off doesn't really make sense. This part of the level is not very fun because of the fact that there's the Harrier part that doesn't do anything, and there's enemies that are really, it's really easy for them to see you here for some reason. Like, that was my bad. Okay, I got him. That was not great. Not great at all, but I think we still would technically beat it without anyone noticing me. Yeah, so they still don't notice me. But yeah, enemies see you a lot on this level for some reason. It seems like they just like have the eyes to see you all the time. Even when you take like these secret paths, they're just like, hey, look, there he is. And you're like, great. Yeah, like, he already knew I was here. Great. So like, that stuff's fine. It doesn't really matter, but it's like, yeah, if you want to like stealth this level, a lot of it just feels very RNG, you know? And so that's what I have a problem with. Also, rescuing Nightshade is a pain because she doesn't handle that very well, sort of. So, like, there's just some stuff about this level that's weird. Also, it feels like the resolution drops on this level. I'm not sure what that's all about, but it does feel like the level gets a little bit less clear. I don't know. I'm not sure what that's all about, but it feels like it starts to have some frame rate issues, maybe because of the Harriers. But, like, yeah, you're supposed to, like, I mean, how is this dude not seeing me? How is that dude not seeing me? Like, there are some moments where it feels like people should just notice me right away, but then they don't. So, Mediterranean Crisis is decent. The levels at the end of the game, to me, aren't as good. So it's like I don't have as much good stuff to say about them. They just feel like they're just rushed. It feels like they did kind of rush these levels. Because like, see, here's this. I grab that. It makes the Harrier program happen. I think a Harrier falls, comes down. I'm just gonna like shoot this guy. Why not? Eventually a Harrier's supposed to fall down, I thought. I'm just doing this to see what happens here. I don't know. Yeah, originally there's supposed to be a Harrier that falls down, and then we use the Q remote on it. But like, again, the AI in this game is great. They do a good job of being very strong. They will just shoot you relentlessly, and like, yeah, that dude was just one-handed shooting me with a freaking... Oh, where did you come from? But they will just destroy you. Like they're ruthless in this game, and it's pretty cool. So I like it. I like this game a lot. I like this level a lot. But again, I would probably give this level a B, just because there's a lot of like finicky, weird AI stuff where AI just seem to be inconsistent with if they notice you or not, and that's kind of annoying, honestly. Because like I want it to be consistent. You know what I'm saying? That's just me, though, you know? And see, how is this guy not noticing me? And I thought I killed all these people. Didn't I kill these people? I thought I killed him. Just now, too. I just headshotted him, no scope. But yeah, like, so there's just a few moments like that where it just feels like they rushed. It feels like they rushed Mediterranean Crisis, and then this last level is... brutal. This is Evil Summit. Evil Summit is very brutal. I really didn't enjoy this level, especially without unlimited ammo, because you're trying to get a perfect score, and the bomb moves are stupid at the beginning. The first part of Evil Summit, to me, is the worst part of, like... Nah, probably not the worst part of the game. I think that would be Fire and Water. But, like, 4 snipers is menacing. I mean, fortunately, I have unlimited ammo now, so I can do this. But, like, you're supposed to go into that little room on the right there and kill the guard without him noticing you, which is funny because he's basically... The door opens, like, into his face and he doesn't notice you, which is pretty funny. But, and then you pull out a sniper from this little locked safe right here, and it has 2 bullets in it, and there's 4 snipers. So they were clever in pulling your leg, because they were like, guess what? You don't have enough ammo. And you're like, no, I need more ammo, but you don't have it. And somehow this guy always notices you. I don't know what's up with this. But this dude sucks with noticing you. I don't know why, but whatever. But yeah, so this part is brutal, and I'll explain it right here. So once we activate this Q remote, right over here, enemies just spawn out of that stupid door for freaking ever. I don't think they ever stop. I'm pretty sure they never do. If somebody knows the answer to that, let me know. Can't believe I've talked for an hour. This is ridiculous. I had a lot to say about this game. So yeah, using the bomb move here is cool in theory, but enemies come out and start shooting at you, and it's really a pain in the butt because you're like totally vulnerable up here as you're trying to like navigate all this crap. They're just shooting at you because they know you're here, and then they expect you to cable yourself into this hatch above this thing, but you're supposed to land up here. But look at this, it just forces you in, and then it's like, well, we're going down swinging, let's nade everybody in here and blow everybody up, because that's what happens. You just have to restart. That right there is the worst part, because they want you to do that to get the bond move. It's a bond move to do it, and then the rest of the level is really not that hard, honestly. The rest of the level is just going to silos and doing certain things. Skybox is great here as well. I think we're back to Switzerland. We come back to the cold reception area. We end there, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, that opening on Evil Summit, absolutely brutal. All right, so I think I've literally talked for an hour. All right, so I'll end this level, or this review, this long review, goodness, with talking about the rewards, because it's awesome that if you get gold, you get golden things. I don't know what rapid fire is there, don't know. And then you get golden stuff, and if you do platinums, you get stuff for multiplayer, which is pretty sick. And I think the only thing that's not multiplayer is... No, you literally get multiplayer stuff for everything. So the multiplayer side of it is, again, very basic. Sets the stage for GoldenEye. But you just literally... You unlock... You have like a few levels. Oh, there's more levels now. Interesting. Because town was the one I always used. The grapple hook is so much fun in multiplayer because you can grapple onto anything. So that's pretty sick. Manor is the level you unlock. I obviously can't do this because I don't have another controller, but the starting point for an epic multiplayer, which is basically Nightfire. Nightfire is the best. Nightfire is just so much fun, and this helps you get there. You know, there's map stuff, there's point limits, score limits, there's golden gun, combat training, protect the flag, all of this stuff. There's a lot of great stuff here. It's pretty. I mean, it's pretty basic, and there's like the photon cannon weapon. Remember that? That thing's sick. You don't even have that in the game. It's only in multiplayer. So they just nailed it with this game. It's the prequel to the most intense game, the best game ever, which is Nightfire. And I think if Agent Under Fire hadn't have been good, Nightfire would never have been a thing. So like, I'm glad Agent Under Fire came first. I'm glad it was what it was because it literally paves the way for Nightfire. And Nightfire is just this with more stuff. Like more multiplayer, more levels, more bond moves, more creativity in the level design. The level design is great here. If I had to give these levels grades, it'd be A, B plus, A, C, A. Ugh, gosh, I'll say B, B, B. I'll say that. So again, the game starts super strong with the first 4 levels, amazing. Cold Perception kind of is decent. Night of Jackal is actually really good, but you know, a little bit weird. Streets of Bucharest, amazing, and then you just kind of start to get more bad than good. So it feels like they started a strong story, but didn't really know where to take it. And as a result of that was my foot, by the way. I did not just pass games. So anyway, yeah, I think they just ended the game a little bit low, on a low point. You know, like Nightfire again does that better. I'll get to Nightfire eventually, but I just think that they had this is the perfect intro game to the PS2 franchise, or the PS2 versions of 007 games, and honestly, the 007 games on the PS2 are the best, so they nailed it. And Agent Under Fire is the catalyst to get it all going. So thank y'all so much for watching this. I hope that y'all enjoyed it. I just kind of figured it'd be fun to go through each level and name them all and talk about what I liked and disliked, and then through that I just reviewed the entire game. But Spartan notes it. I think that the level design starts good, ends a little bit bad. The graphics are very good for 2001. Gameplay is very, very good for 2001. AI are just the right balance of stupid and smart because they won't even stop shooting at. They'll shoot you relentlessly, but they'll stand in the open. Or they'll run and hide behind a box, but the box has a barrel by it. So like the AI is just the right balance of good and stupid. The gameplay is good. The gunplay is good. The rail sections are good. The car sections are phenomenal. The levels are very fun. They know what they were doing with these. So I think that they just did a great job, honestly. I think they really did a good job of making this game super good. So thank y'all for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. And peace.